This is week 1 of 2025 and starting a new training cycle. So what I've decided is on day 1 I would do harder projects. So I've chosen 3 boulders, 20 minutes per boulder with about 10 minutes in between, just projecting them. The first one is this pink, which is graded at a V6. I had one really good session on this a couple of weeks back where I kept getting to the last move and then I could barely start it again the session after that, and I'm struggling again with it here. This time I finally got it, and this is the closest I've ever managed to come to the top. So that crimp's not particularly great that I've got in my right hand, and there was the foothold, and moving out of this position is a bit difficult. Next up we have this black V5 in the cave section. This is one that I looked at around about 2 months back when it first went up, and I think I struggled with the first move back then. I've not paid it a whole lot of attention, but this pink that's there as well I did manage to get last week, so I thought I'd give this black another shot, and was surprised that I managed to get about halfway on it. Annoyingly, this is the last week that the current cave set is going to be up. It's getting stripped, although it is due, but it would have been nice to get this black. I didn't in the end. final project is another black. It's graded as a V5, but I don't really believe it. This is another one that's been up for about 5-6-ish weeks, and I could barely ever pull onto it. So I was happy this section that I could actually catch that crimp, because these holes are just greasy, like constantly greasy. When they're fresh on the set, when they've been used for a bit, there's just very little friction. Even though I've not got very far on this problem, I do feel like I made a decent amount of progress just being able to catch that crimp and hold for a bit. But I'll be happy once this one's gone. I knew that this wasn't going to go, so by this point I decided just to see what the top half was like, and worse. It was worse. Those holes felt very greasy. Just taking my hand off that one that I just couldn't find anything on, and then this next one, which is a big positive hole, is just frictionless. Even after brushing it, that just felt wet constantly. And that's the end of day 1. Day 2 came after day 1 because that's how maths works. And this time I was going for endurance. So I decided to use the woody wall here to traverse along. I'm doing the yellow, which is the easiest grade I believe on this. This wall was actually reset last week, so this is a very fresh set of circuits to climb on. The idea here was to traverse from one side to the other as many times as I could in one go. I did have a timer set, so it was 10 minutes on, 10 minutes rest, then 10 minutes for round 2. I think this is something I'll keep in weekly. But if the training area is busy, I might go downstairs and do the lower grade circuits in as much as one go as I can. Usually it's not too busy when I go, so it should be alright. I've also decided to speed up the footage on these sections, since it'll take, 10 minutes or so of watching, which wouldn't be much fun because it's kind of boring to watch. But this is here for my record. I should probably be counting how many laps I've done on this. I think it was 3 this time round. Nope, looks like I'm going for 4. There we go, arms were dead. I rested up for a bit before my 10 minutes were up. Or it may have been 20 minutes. With a 10-minute break. No, I'm pretty sure it was 10. Whatever I did. This time I'm going for the pink, which I did a couple of days ago. It's a little bit harder, but flows really nicely. Good set of moves. I've also got about halfway on the blue on this one, which is another good set of moves. But that one really pulls on my wrists. This here though is the end of the first session. So 10-minute break and I'm back on it for however many laps I do this time. So day 1 was the Monday, day 2 was Wednesday. Friday I climbed, but that was just a general climb. I wasn't intending to project anything on that one, though I do have a couple of other climbs that I'd like to work on. And it should be up for another 4 weeks or so. What I do need to look at now is on my non-climbing days doing either some weight training or yoga. I really want to do some weights because I like it, but I know I need to work on my mobility and flexibility more, so I'm leaning more towards yoga 2 or 3 times a week. Nearly lost it there. These are all juggy holds, but it's a lot of moves. And by the time I'm done with this, I feel the pump like back in my first year of climbing. when you're brand new to it on the V1s and 2s and you feel wrecked. It's hard to get that feeling anymore. Usually these days it feels more like ow my fingers or ow my toe. That's a very small foothold I'm on. So I did come off, I rested up a bit, and I'm back on for a second round on round 2. Again, I think it was about 4 laps I did. I'm gonna try and aim for 6 overall, and then look at the next grade up. One thing on this is there's yellows and orange holes, and they are very, very close together colour-wise, which doesn't help me being colourblind. I can just about tell them apart for the most part, although it does get trickier when I get more tired. I apparently get more colourblind. And that's bringing it to an end for this video. So that was week 1 done. Week 2 is probably going to be more of the same, but I'll choose different projects.